Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another tournament from the Pokemon TCG Online. I was fortunate enough to be able to play in another one of these tournaments. They are in the alpha testing stage right now, so they're only happening about once a week. And they don't really advertise for them very much, but if you check on the Pokemon TCG Online forums, you'll see when they do occur. Now, the catch for this week is it was theme decks only. So it's theme deck battles. This is not going to be the most exciting series of matches, but hey, it's theme deck, and you can see in my hand I'm using the Next Destiny's Voltage Vortex theme deck. As we start off with Scraggy, and we also have Nuzleaf, Raichu, Luxray, Potion, Pokemon Center, and now 2 Lightning Energy. Looks wonderful. Yeah, for some reason they just did theme decks this week. But hey, it's a tournament, I guess. We'll go ahead and look at it. And for some reason, a lot of people ask to see me play theme decks. So hey, let's try it out. Why not? So we see our opponent seems to be using the XY theme deck. We see Zorua, Inkay, a couple Rhyhorn, and Timber. Now this entire deck is weak to fighting. So that's going to be a real problem if any fighting Pokemon get powered up. But we do draw the Pokemon Communication. We can go ahead and look. And I thought Emolga looks like it's flying, so it might resist fighting. But no, it's also weak to fighting. I think C-Dot, the 40 HP Pokemon, is the only Pokemon not weak to fighting in this deck. So hey, I'm just going to do the only thing I can really do here. We're going to Communication for that big, bad Zekrom and start powering that up. My opponent doesn't seem to have very much, so I'm going to try to power up Zekrom and kind of sweep with it. And we see Girder over there. Oh man, well, I don't know. Theme decks are not very good in general. This one in particular is not very diverse. It's, what can you say? It has all fighting weak Pokemon. So if you face a fighting deck, you pretty much lose. But we see I got a really nice top deck there. We top deck the Professor Juniper. Just going to go ahead and use the potion on Scraggy there. And now we have to pay the obnoxious 2 retreat cost to go into Zekrom. This deck is one of the better theme decks, I think. You have Zekrom, of course. Outrage and Bolt Strike are always going to be pretty good, especially when there are no Pokemon EX in the format, and there's hardly any draw power. You know, this deck in particular, though, does have 6 supporters. 2 Professor Juniper, 2 Silent, and no, I think just 4. I can't remember. Yeah, just 4 actually. 2 Professor Juniper and 2 Silent. And then it also has 2 Pokemon Communication and either 1 or 2 Level Ball as well. So it's as consistent as a theme deck will get, I suppose. And we do see my opponent drew a Tierno, so we got a couple more cards to work with, and finally an energy to start attacking. Potion is actually going to avoid the Outrage knockout here, but you know what? I see my opponent has not played any energy on the bench, so I am just going for it. We're going to attach to Zekrom, Bolt Strike, and start taking prizes. If we can get a big enough prize lead, we might be able to overcome the fact that everything in the deck is weak to fighting. So let's see what can happen. Energy attachments are the name of the game in theme deck battles. And it looks like we are getting the first attachments. And my opponent is just struggling, drawing nothing but Pokemon. You can see Nuzleaf, not very good. I think we're going to take a step back here and just Outrage instead of Bolt Striking. Leaving myself with 40 HP, probably not the best idea. And we do see, whoa, a Crocodile. So we got a Stage 2 coming out, and a Diglett as well. And we shall see what happens. Draw a Pokemon Communication. Not that great. We got a Nuzleaf, I guess will evolve. And then Outrage for 70, finishing off that Girder. Just reminds me of Futurama. I am Bender, insert Girder. We see Diglett coming out. And the fighting energy go on Crocodile. It has Bother and Knockback. But wait a second, my opponent has a Doug Trio. Huh? Oh, wow. Yeah, we dodged a real bullet there. My opponent had Doug Trio and a Fighting Energy. Could have used Earthquake to actually knock out Zekrom. And for some reason decided to attach to Crocodile instead. So we, wow, caught a major, major break there. If my opponent had used Earthquake with Doug Trio, I think I would have just lost completely. I have no backup for this Zekrom. He's just on his own. He's a warrior. He's bolt striking and outraging through the competition, but that Doug Trio, it would have just completely knocked out Zekrom, and wow. I'm not really sure what my opponent was thinking there. Maybe just got tunnel vision and said, I want to power up my big bad Crocodile, but wow, okay. So instead of having Zekrom knocked out and having a monstrous Doug Trio that I couldn't deal with, we continue to Bolt Strike and Outrage. Crocodile does come out here, and we see it's going to use Bother. Now, normally the attack wouldn't matter in a theme deck battle, but I just drew another Juniper. So, heads on that Bother would have actually been quite a bother, because I would have been unable to play my Professor Juniper. Would have been pretty annoying. But now we can just discard 2 C-Dot and 2 Emolga. We'll go ahead and Energy Search. Just grab a Darkness Energy. Doesn't really matter. And we can start powering up another Zekrom. We're going to be 10 short of knocking out Crocodile, but again, we have a pretty big prize lead at this point, thanks to Zekrom going all out here. So there's the Outrage for 130 damage. Just 10 short of knocking out that big 140 HP Crocodile. And from here, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. We do get hit by the knockback, but that's right. Zekrom can come out in Outrage for the final 20, and then we should be able to Bolt Strike anything out there for the final knockout for the game. We'll go ahead and play Silent here. Grab 3 energy. Doesn't really matter what types we get, as long as we get 1 lightning to Bolt Strike. And there we have the Outrage. It's going to knock out Crocodile. We're down to 1 prize in our first theme deck game in this tournament. Of course, the tournaments are 8-person tournament, single elimination, just 1 game at a time. So you win 3 games, you win the tournament. And the prize is actually very big for this tournament. It's actually one of the rarest cards on Pokemon TCG Online, and that's a promo Zoroark, whose code really was never released in the US. It was extremely difficult to get this card. It is considered to be, I think, the rarest card on Pokemon TCG Online, so it's actually a pretty cool tournament prize, and that's a pretty big deal. We do see an Evo Soda for Malamar, and looks like if my opponent had used Mental Panic, that would have possibly, I don't know, confused Zekrom, and who knows what happens then, but instead Rhyhorn just uses Dig Out, and that's going to be the end of round number 1. Zekrom takes this one. And like I said, I think this is one of the strongest theme decks, just because Zekrom is such a big basic hitter, and you do have some supporters there, a couple Juniper, a couple Silent. You do have some searching cards with Level Ball and Pokemon Communication. Even though Communication is rotated out of the format, it's in a theme deck, so it's legal for the theme deck format. So yeah, I don't know. There might be something to this deck. Unfortunately, Zekrom is the only real great attacker. Otherwise, it's just, you have Raichu, which isn't that good, and then Luxray, which is decent, but it's a stage 2. Now, we're going to go ahead and start off going first here. I have C-Dot and Shinx, and the whole C-Dot line, there's no Shiftry in this deck, which is unfortunate because Nuzleaf is pretty terrible, and C-Dot is no better. I mean, the whole Nuzleaf line is just going to be kind of a waste of space for the most part, so I don't even want to bother starting with that. We'll start with Shinx instead. Go ahead and attach. We can't attack going first, so we'll pass the turn against a couple Booneri. We do have a Luxio for second turn. A Crushing Hammer. I can't remember. This might be the basic blue deck we're going up against, featuring the Seismitoad that doesn't have round. the other one. I can't remember what the attack's name is right now. Hypno something probably. Anyway, gonna go ahead and level ball here for a Pikachu. And we do have the Luxio out. Turn 2 to start taking a bite out of my opponent's Pokemon. We'll go ahead and evolve into Nuzleaf, bench a C-Dot, and bite. I'm playing out as many cards as I can because I can't remember if that particular deck plays N. And if that's the case, I want to play down cards and then draw new ones. That's the idea here. Some of these theme decks play Hue as well, I think. I never know. So I'm just going to play down cards. In case of a Hue, I want to be able to draw cards as well. Always need to keep your options open in these theme deck battles. So turn 3, we take down the Booneri with Bite. And we're looking good right now. Tympole does have Bubble, though. So it can paralyze, which would be pretty annoying. And it would be nice to get Luxray out, start crunching away. But it looks like for now we're going to get hit by Bubble. And poor Luxio gets paralyzed. I'm going to go ahead and silent here, and we'll take a look through the deck at this point just to see if Luxray is in here. And let's see. Oh, nope, looks like... Yep, Luxray is prized. That's a bummer. So we don't even have the option to draw it. I'm going to go ahead and bench Scraggy. Put an energy on that Nuzleaf. God forbid I have to attack with it. And then pass the turn since Tympole did paralyze Luxio with Bubble. I don't think there are any switching cards in this deck, so we can't get out of special conditions or anything like that. But we do see another Bubble, but it's Tails this time. We'll just go for another Bite for 30 damage. Slow and steady. 30 at a time. Let's see if it gets the job done. We see a Phoebus coming down. And, Melodic actually could be very, very big. That first attack allows it to search for 3 cards. That could be huge. So let's hope that doesn't come out. We have the Bite for 30, and alright, the Luxray out of the prizes. Now we can really start taking prizes very quickly. Luxray does 60 for 1 and then 32 bench Pokemon. It's a throwback to the Luxray GL Level X from the Rising Rivals set. And then the second attack is Crunch, 80. And then flip a coin or discard an energy attached to the defending Pokemon. We're just going to go ahead and don't want to damage my own Pokemon, so I'm going to go with the Crunch. Actually, I think this Flash Impact only does 20 to one of your bench Pokemon, so it's a little better. And it'll cost 1 lightning. But here we go. Just crunch, 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 and goodbye, Booneri. Basic blue going down. And it looks like, hey, we're in the finals. And just one more game, we can win that awesome Zoroark promo. That would be pretty sweet. We got to wait for our opponents to finish that second round game so I can have an opponent for the finals match. And then it's time for the big time. We'll see if we can take down this tournament. So we're just going to have to wait and see who we face in the finals. Alright, looks like we're going up against Domo 789 in the finals of our tournament. We got to wait a little while to start the next round, but oh man, there's a lot on the line here. Of course, we don't know what theme deck my opponent is playing. We're going to hope our Voltage Vortex can take it down. Zekrom and Luxray have done the job so far, and we're going to hope to continue our good luck here. And we do see who's going to go first, and it's heads. That means Voltage Vortex is going first. See what we start off with. Oh no, a Blitzel. I don't even know why Blitzel is in this deck. This is one of the mysteries of theme decks. Why are there Blitzel and no Zebstrika? Oh man. This always seems to happen in theme decks. There's just like 4 of a random basic with no evolution for it. And it doesn't make any sense. Why do they do this? Alright, well, we're starting off with Blitzel. Gonna have to wait and see what my opponent is putting out here. And again, even though these are theme decks, there is a lot on the line. I do have to stress that. Because that Zoroark card is extremely difficult to obtain, and it would be an awesome prize for anyone to get. So let's see, I'm going to, at least to start off pretty decently, we have a couple level ball. Going to go ahead and play one here. I suppose I could get like a Pikachu. There's nothing I can really hit for weakness. Not a fighting deck, so that's a good thing. Actually, I'm not sure what deck my opponent is using. I'm going to have to take a look at the Pokemon again real quick. We're going to go for a level ball, though. And yeah, just take a Pikachu seems like the right thing to do. We do see Pikachu and then the Emolga, but that one's from Emerging Powers, I believe. Is this? This might be the one of the original theme decks that's exclusive to Pokemon TCG Online, Power Relay. I don't even think you can get this one anymore. It's the one featuring Electric, the one with Dynamotor. Oh my goodness. So if that's the case, my opponent has definitely found a better deck. And I'm not too excited about going up against this. Fortunate enough that the Thunder Shock there was indeed Tails. So Blitzel is not paralyzed. We'll be able to Thunder Jolt for 30 damage and then heads. So not doing 30 to myself. Go get him, Blitzel. You got it, buddy. And we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what else is in store here. We see the Bouffalant and another Thunder Shock and another Tails. Wow, that's pretty fortunate for me. And oh yes, communication. That means we can get out our big bad Zekrom very shortly. So let's go ahead and communication in that pretty much worthless Weavile. And search out a Zekrom to start powering up that Bolt Strike. I could also do Luxray, I suppose. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, that does have 140 HP. Wow, we can get a turn 3 Luxray right here and just Flash Impact for the knockout. Wow. Yeah, so let's just retreat into Luxio, evolve to Luxray. I'm even going to put down the Pokemon Center that has some synergy here with Flash Impact, since we do have to damage my bench. And okay, Flash Impact for 60. We're taking a prize on this Emolga. You know, Zekrom is all nice and powerful, but first thing is there is one prized, so I could get one of the prizes and have one anyway. And second one is Luxray does have more HP and can attack immediately. So this seems like a very good idea. Just start being aggressive, especially against this deck, which I think if they get out Electric, they're probably at an advantage, I would say. So I don't know. I'm going to go just Pokemon Center and then Flash Impact once again, hitting that Emolga for 60 damage. There's no real downside to that, since I can always Pokemon Center the damage off of my Blitzel anyway. Of course, Pokemon Center once a turn, you can heal 20 damage from one of your bench Pokemon. My opponent retreats into another Emolga, and here we go. Just going to go for a crunch. So Luxray has been the MVP of this tournament so far. I never really thought I'd get a Stage 2 Pokemon into play in theme deck battles, but that seems to be the case here. And we're going to be taking a big prize lead here, I think, unless we start getting paralyzed by Emolga or Raichu using Thunder Shock. I don't know, guys. Let's see what happens. So I do have a level ball that I'm kind of holding on to right here. This might be the turn to play it. The reason I'm holding on to it is I could draw like another Pokemon communication, and then I would want to level ball for a Pokemon, and then communication for the Zekrom. But we're just going to grab Raichu right now. Again, I can't remember if this deck plays N or anything like that, so I may just want to play cards while I can. And Luxray takes down another Emolga. That's 3 Emolga going down. But that Raichu on the bench is getting powered up. It does have Slam. It's 80 times. You flip 2 coins and it's 80 times the number of heads. So a couple lucky Slam flips could completely change this game. So we'll see. Oh no, Professor Juniper. And this is the Electric deck. Yes. We see Tynamo coming out. The nice little 30 HP Tynamo. And another Emolga. Are you kidding me? And my opponent's just going to pass the turn with Bouffalant active. But now Raichu has 3 energy. So I really don't want Luxray to take the hit here. I want Luxray to have the upper hand against Raichu if possible. So I'm just going to retreat into Blitzel and then use that to knock out Bouffalant. Good work, Blitzel. Take down that Bouffalant, and we'll see what we can do from here. Opponent's going to promote Emolga since it does a free retreat. We have 4 prizes. We've taken 4 prizes. We have a major lead in this game. Can we hold on to it? Like I said, anything can happen with some lucky slam flips. And we do see an Axew come out after a Charon. So it looks like my opponent's deck is finally starting to get into the swing of things. And that's not good news for me. And here comes the slam. And that's 1 heads, 80 damage. And I have a decision here. Do I want to attack with Luxray, just do 80, or do I want to attack with Raichu? I could do like a Thunder Shock, try to paralyze, and then finish off with Slam. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. Or finish off with Crunch. I'm going to go for the Paralysis. Got Tails. Just going to power up Luxray in the process. And I feel like that was a pretty big Paralysis flip. But it's alright, it doesn't really matter as long as my opponent doesn't get 2 heads on Slam right here. Oh my goodness, here it is, it's back. The one, the only Electric, and my opponent can start using Dynamotor and another Juniper. Oh no. My opponent could make a huge comeback here. I'm running out of Pokemon. I do have a Raichu and a Luxray, so that's not so bad. But I believe that Haxorus does have an attack that does 120 damage for 3 energy. So that's going to be very difficult to deal with. I don't know, this can go either way still. The prize count doesn't exactly matter, it's just how many attackers you have, and can I beat my opponent to the punch. Looks like my opponent is deciding to retreat into Emolga, wanting to save that Raichu, healing it with Pokemon Center. And this is going to be a nice opening here to just take a knockout with Slam, go down to 1 prize, and there we go, Slam, 2 heads, 160, we only needed 1 head. And oh man, my last prize is that Zekrom. That's really annoying. If I would have gotten Zekrom out, I think this game would have been all locked up, and we would have been in a position where we couldn't really lose the game. But now Raichu's coming out. And this will be a big slam. If it's only 1 heads, I think we'll be able to pull out the win. If it's 2 heads, oh no! Oh no, it's 2 heads. Raichu goes down to another Raichu, slamming. And oh no, now what do we do? I think we have to just attack with Luxray. That seems like the obvious route to go. We do have a Silent. Can go ahead and search for 3 energy. Going to take 2 dark and a lightning. We're running out of energy as well. We just have to manage to take 1 more prize here, and we can win this game. Gonna go ahead and play the Luxio and Emolga. Just gonna attach a lightning onto Luxio and then Crunch for 80 damage. Tails in the energy discard. That's probably not gonna matter too much, but from here, what's my opponent gonna do? We see a Pokemon Communication, Pidove going in, Fracture coming out, and I believe Fracture does, yes, have 90 HP, so it will avoid a knockout from Crunch. And a Haxorus could be coming out soon. This could certainly turn the tide of things. And we do see the 3rd energy going on to Fracture, just insurance against Crunch. And it's going to hit me for 20, I think, with Scratch or Dual Chop. Go for a little bit more damage. We'll see what my opponent decides to do here. And this is extremely close. We see the Scratch for 20. That will set up for Haxorus getting a knockout with, I believe it's Giga Impact, something like that. But, oh my goodness, drew the Pokemon Communication, and it's Zekrom time, baby. It's Communication for the big guy. Just going to make sure I don't have any more Luxray in this deck. Looks like there's only 1 in here. And here we go, Zekrom. This is going to be the closer, I think. We'll go ahead and get him into play. Attach an energy to him. And I can just... I could Crunch here and do 80. I guess we're going to do that. Looking back, I might have favored just retreating into Luxio and going for the quick turn, using Pokemon Center to heal off the 20 damage on Luxray, but here it is, Haxorus, and we see a potion as well. Potion is something I didn't take into account, so probably for the best that I did just crunch. If I can just power up Zekrom for a Bolt Strike, I think this game is all but over. But we do see the Giga Impact. That's pretty devastating. Luxray does go down. Might put us down to 3 prizes. Haxorus is a wrecking machine. We get another Lightning Energy onto Zekrom. Go for the quick turn. That 20 damage might not be too relevant, but you never know with Potion or anything like that. And it may just be a matter of time. Zekrom can steal the last prize here, but you can see how scary this deck got once my opponent drew a Professor Juniper. Got the Electric into play. Raichu started slamming. Haxorus started using Giga Impact. And this is a very formidable deck to go up against once this all gets going. At least in terms of theme decks. And so we do see Raichu come out. Now, something that could happen is my opponent could start to just Thunder Shock and keep using Pokemon Center to heal off Haxorus, and eventually can go up to full health. And then Zekrom wouldn't be able to knock it out in one hit. So my opponent would need quite a few turns to buy time with Thunder Shock. But no, going for the Slam. And that means it looks like my opponent's just taking the risk, saying, you know what, if you have the energy, you win. I'll take this risk. And of course, we played Silent earlier, so we know we have the energy. And there is Bolt Strike, 120 damage. And there is the Zekrom out of the prizes. Victory goes to Voltage Vortex. Zekrom and Luxray getting the job done. Then you can see MVP Luxray, definitely. That is the case here. Luxray did a lot of work. We dealt a lot of damage. 980 damage. That's ridiculous. And Luxray and Zekrom definitely MVPs of the tournament. There it is, the Zoroark. As you can see, the black and white promo looks like number 9. This is extremely difficult to obtain on Pokemon TCG Online. As you can see, I didn't have one before this. And we got another... Oh, they changed the gold stars into gold trophies. I like that a lot better. So for our tournament win with our theme deck, we get 3 packs of Flash Fire and a Zoroark. That is extremely difficult to obtain. So that's awesome. Great prizes. Hopefully we see more tournaments with great prizes soon. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will certainly have some more for you soon. I am Pooka from the Top Cut, and I'll see you guys next time.